went and did the Sandipni course. And after that, as a brahmachari, was posted to many centers in India. Very specifically, I would like to mention the Mangalore Center, because one, they have done an amazing job of sharing Swamiji's teaching with all of us. And it is from that center that we get to hear Swamiji fairly regularly. So I think we should thank the Chinmaya Mission Mangalore for giving us this opportunity to listen to Swamiji on a regular basis. I say this, almost all my study classes that I take, one of the staple persons that I listen to is Swamiji. And in fact, there was one that I recently started and conducted, which was Bhakti Sudha, and I was looking for Swamiji's talks and I couldn't find it. Interestingly, that was the topic that was supposed to be conducted here over the next 3 days. But Gurudev has his own way. In his 75th year of Gurudev's movement, Gurudev decided to change the topic at the last minute to Gita, way of life, which is dear to Gurudev and Gurudev's topic. And we are very lucky to have Swamiji come here and present to us on the essence of the Bhagavad Gita and how to live the Gita way of life. Swamiji has also done a lot of writings works, and one of the best compilation of works that I enjoy reading what Swamiji has done is Read Daily and Live Fully. That's a book which all of us should have. It has 366 topics, meant to be read one topic a day. So that even if it is a leap year, you still will be able to read one topic every day. And it covers all the topics of Vedanta that we would like to know about. And these are all Gurudev's work that Swamiji has done a tremendous job of compiling and categorizing and putting them together. You don't have to wait for the new year. Yes, could be a new year resolution, but you don't have to wait for the new year, because our Gurudev says the day we decide to change is the new year for us. So it could be today that we decide to change and we can pick up that particular book and read that particular book. So with that, I would welcome Swamiji again, and we would wonderfully love to hear all the talks from Swamiji. Thank you. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Not you, audio. Hari Om. You don't have that monitor? It's there? So even louder then. Hari Om. It is mic testing, okay. Hari Om. Yes. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Yes. Fine. Hari Om. Yes. Sahana vavatu sahano bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Repeat once. Shankara Chandrasekhara Gangadhara Sumanohara Pahi Mam Parameshwara Mrityunjaya Vishveshwara Neelakantha Bhalanetra Bhasma Bhushita Sundara Pahi Mam Karunakara Girijesha Omkareshwara Shankara Chandrasekhara Gangadhara Sumanohara Pahi Mam Parameshwara Mrityunjaya Vishveshwara Tandava Priya Jaya Natesha Vishwanatha Maheshwara Pahi Mam Abhayankara Vyagracharmambaradhara Shankara Chandrasekhara Gangadhara Sumanohara Pahi Mam Parameshwara Mrityunjaya Vishveshwara ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। देवाय तस्मै नमः। Humble prostrations to one and all present here. So for the 3 days, we'll be taking up some topics from Bhagavad Gita. Today, we'll be taking up a topic on handling our restless mind. So this question is asked by Arjuna to Bhagavan in the 6th chapter. So what is the question? Chanchalam hi manah Krishna pramathi balavadrudham tasyaham nigraham manye vayoriva sudushkaram. Bhagavan, controlling this mind is so difficult. This mind is chanchalam, pramathi, balavat and dridham. So 4 terms are used in order to describe the nature of the mind. So what are the 4 terms? Number 1, chanchalam. Chanchalam means what? Fickle, restless. The mind doesn't stay at one place. We want the mind to concentrate on something, but the mind goes here and there, jumps from one topic to another. This is one problem. Chanchalam. The second one is pramadhi. It does mathanam. Mathanam means what? Churning. It starts entertaining a negative thought. And it so intensely entertains a negative thought. What is the result of negative thought? Disturbance. Negative thought means disturbance. That is the effect. Negative thought is a cause, disturbance is the effect. Now when we entertain negative thoughts intensely, what happens to disturbance? Disturbance also becomes intense. The churning happens deep down. So there are different intensities of disturbance also. There's a mild disturbance and there are gradations. The more intense the negative thought, greater intensity is the disturbance also. Pramati. It churns from the depth of one's own being. Completely disturbed. This is number 2. Chanchalam, Pramati. What is the third one? Balavat. Very strong. Especially when we want to entertain a positive thought, you have to struggle a lot. I want the mind to entertain a positive thought, but the mind is so strong, it doesn't allow me to entertain that positive thought in the mind. Balavat, very strong. And then the fourth term is Dridham. Dridham means what? Stubborn. It is already entertaining a negative thought. To make the mind withdraw from that negative thought, it is very difficult. See, whenever my pitch goes high, the volume goes down. Do you experience that? Only I am experiencing it. High frequency amplification is less. Low frequency, it is loud. You have set this one something like that? Huh? Yeah. High frequency, suddenly my volume comes down. Okay. So, Chanchalam, Pramati, Balavat, and Dridham. 4 terms are used in order to describe the nature of the mind. Mind is extremely fickle. It just doesn't stay at one place. Goes on jumping from one topic to another. It doesn't stay. And it intensely entertains negative thoughts. It refuses to entertain positive thought and refuses to leave the negative thought. Bhagavan, tasyaham nigraham manye vayurivasu dushkaram. To control that mind is so difficult. What is the example given? Vayu, wind. So wind is compared with mind. Mind is compared with wind. So what are the similarities you find? Number 1, mind cannot be seen just like wind. Number 2, wind is very powerful. In the same way, mind is also very powerful. Wind cannot be controlled. Whenever there is a hurricane or a storm, tornado, you vacate the place. You don't try to control it. In the same way, mind is also impossible to control, says Arjuna. What is the only difference? As far as wind is concerned, you can avoid the wind. As far as mind is concerned, you can't run away from your mind. This is the difference. So Bhagavan, it is very, very difficult. So what is Bhagavan's answer? Asamshayam mahabaho manodurnigraham chalam abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. Arjuna, asamshayam, no doubt about it. What you are saying is 100% right. Manodurnigraham chalam. It is very, very difficult to control the mind. It is fickle. It is not only your mind, it is the same with everybody's mind. But then, It is not an impossible thing, though I accept that it is difficult. Mind can definitely be conquered. Mind can definitely be controlled. Bhagavan, what is the way? Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha gruhyate. Abhyasa and vairagya. These are the two ways in which mind can be conquered. So now we have to spend time in these two, Abhyasa and Vairagya. Tomorrow and day after we will talk about Abhyasa. Today we will talk about Vairagya. Swamiji, there is so much to speak about Vairagya. Yes. So in these 3 days, we'll actually cover all the fundamentals of meditation. Because if these two are mastered, meditation becomes very smooth. Abhyasa and Vairagya. So let us discuss about Vairagya. In fact, the name itself, the term itself refers why the mind is fickle, why the mind is restless, why the mind is turbulent, stubborn, etc. If the solution is Vairagya, what is the problem? Raga is the problem. If the solution is Viraga, the problem is Raga. Raga means what? Attachments, likes. Remember, whenever Raga is there, Dvesha will always be there. They always go in pairs. Just like heads and tails of the coin. They always go together. Just like superiority and inferiority complex. They always go together. A person who is suffering from inferiority, once he gets everything, he will definitely have superiority. They are the two sides of the same coin. So therefore, we will be discussing only about Raga. Likes. When you like a particular sense object, and if you are not getting it, if somebody comes as an obstruction, preventing you from getting that sense object, then what happens? There is dvesha towards that person. So therefore they always go together, raga and dvesha. So Bhagavan says, the way to conquer the mind is by vairagya. So first of all, we have to understand raga. Raga means what? Attachment. When do we get attached to a thing, being, or a situation? So now whenever I am using the term Vishaya or sense object, understand that sense object can be a thing, being, or a situation. I'll be using the term Vishaya or sense object. So, when do I get attached to a sense object? I get attached to a sense object when I am convinced that that sense object can give me happiness, that sense object can make me secure. Security and happiness. If there is something which can do that, I will get attached to it. Yes or no? Yes. So then, does it mean I can never practice vairagya? Because there are so many things which gives me happiness and security. Now see, the world is designed in such a way that every sense object is designed to give sorrow. Now the audio is perfect. That is the compassion of Bhagavan. Compassion of Bhagavan is, he has made this world of sense objects sorrowful. Swamiji, you are pessimistic. No. I am realistic. Dukkhalayam, Bhagavan says. This world is Dukkhalayam. You know what is the problem? If suppose the world is a wonderful place, full of joy, you know the problem? Problem is we will get attached to the world. We can never get attached to God. Yes or no? If the world is giving all happiness and security, who wants God? So deliberately, out of compassion, Bhagavan has made this world imperfect. Now, the nature of this sense object is such. Agre amrutopamam pariname vishamiva. This is how sense objects are designed. In the beginning, it is like nectar. It is amrutam, joy-giving, blissful. But very soon, that very same sense object start becoming poisonous, start giving pain. For example, junk food. Is it joy-giving or pain-giving? Agre amrutopamam. Yes or no? Yes. In the beginning it is joy-giving. While indulging, it is joy. But after indulgence, there is suffering. Oh, I shouldn't have eaten. You feel heavy. You feel lethargic, lazy, dull. The more and more your mind becomes sensitive, the more and more the mind becomes pure, you start feeling it as poison. Because you have been enjoying a very peaceful, alert, cheerful state of mind. After indulging in that junk food, suddenly, with a thud, as though the mind from the sattvic state falls down to tamasic state. See, a person who is ever in tamas, he will never understand the difference. So the first qualification to know that it is poison is you have to be in sattva. Then only fall is possible. This is a very good example. Junk food. In the same way, all pleasures of this world, it is designed that way. Now the question is, what are you seeing? A person who is very gross, immature, unevolved, he can see only the initial pleasure. He is not able to penetrate deep and see the final result of indulgence. The final pain he is not able to see. This is the tamasic aspect of the buddhi. Inability to see the consequence. What is in store for me if I indulge? In the beginning, fine, there is pleasure, but in the end, will the pleasure remain? Will that happiness remain? Or will it fade away? When the mind is very alert and sattvic, you don't see the initial pleasure. What do you see? You see the final pain. So when that sense object is dancing in front of you, tempting you to indulge, a wise man sees the pain in the end. An immature, foolish person sees the pleasure of the beginning. When he sees the pleasure in the beginning, what happens to him? He develops attachment to that object. But suppose he is seeing the pain in the end, then what happens? Will you be attached to a thing which gives only pain? Never. Then that virtue is what is called as Vairagya. Are you able to follow? Everything in this world is designed that way. As I said, it is a compassion of Bhagavan. He doesn't want his children to get stuck in this world. He wants all his children to turn to him. Just like womb is not designed for the child to get stuck in the womb. The womb is designed to push the child out once it has fully grown. So the womb will help the child grow, and once the child is fully grown, the womb pushes the child out into the outer world. The womb is designed that way. In the same way, this whole world is also a womb. The world is designed to push us out into the real world of Satchidananda. That is our true nature. The world is designed that way. A tamasic person is pushed into rajas. A rajasic person is pushed into sattva, and a sattvic person is pushed into the state of gunatita. So, once the mind develops this ability of vairagya, the mind will not go towards that sense object. This is what Bhagavan is saying. All these wanderings of the mind, it is only because the mind is attached to that sense object. Chanchalam. Where does the mind go? You said mind is going from one sense object to another. You see, the mind doesn't go to some random sense object. Mind always goes towards sense object towards which it has attachment. You just observe your mind. When you are sitting for meditation, just observe the mind. Where is this mind going? You will find that it is always going towards those things, beings, situations, happenings, incidents, where there is attachment, raga or dvesha. But suppose there is no attachment, there is no aversion. Where will the mind go? The mind will not go. That is what Bhagavan is trying to say here. Pramathi, balavad, dridham, mind is stubborn, forceful. It is all connected with attachment. Greater the attachment, more the stubbornness in the mind, the force in the mind. But if the attachment is not there, the mind may glide through the sense object, but it will listen to you, it will withdraw itself from the sense objects when you call it back. In fact, this also is a test of how much attachment I have towards a particular sense object. How do I know what is the measure of attachment? How quickly I am able to withdraw the mind from the sense object. This is a test. How much am I struggling to withdraw the mind from the sense object? That struggle shows my intensity of attachment. Sometimes I am so much attached to that sense object that I am not even aware that I am thinking about a sense object. Yes or no? Even to become aware that the mind is thinking about a sense object, some amount of dispassion is necessary. But what is our condition? Mind is thinking about it. Mind has entered into that whirlpool. It is sucked into that sense object. And I am not even aware. All that shows the intensity of attachment. Any attachment is a disease in the mind. Attachment is a disease. Of course, aversion also is a disease. Mind is not at ease when there is attachment. That's why it's called dis-ease. What is a healthy mind? Healthy mind is a mind which is able to freely think and freely drop the sense object. There is a situation, I use the mind to think, to plan, and once thinking is over, planning is over, at ease I am able to withdraw the mind from that sense object. If I can transact with every situation, every sense object this way, then that is a sign of a healthy mind. What is a sign of an unhealthy mind? I don't want the mind to think about something, it thinks only that. I want the mind to withdraw, but again and again, disobeying me, the mind goes back to that sense object and thinks only that. That is a sign of an unhealthy mind. So ragi mind is an unhealthy mind. Viragi mind is a healthy mind. Remember, vairagya is not hatred. Many times people, translate vairagya as hatred towards sense objects. No. It is called as indifference. Presence or absence of a sense object doesn't affect me. That is a sign of vairagya. Now the question is, how to develop this vairagya? Can we develop it? Yes, we can develop. Let us take this example of junk food. How to develop? Many times people say, Swamiji, I know that it is not good. Many times I have suffered. But the moment that junk food comes in front, I don't know, Swamiji, what happens. And I indulge. After that, there is repentance. And every time it's the same thing. After indulgence, I say, next time I'm not going to have it. But next time again, I forget everything. Again, I indulge. Is there a way to cultivate vairagya? Is there a practical way? So we say, there is a way. What is that way? The way is this. Let us say this junk food you have eaten. Now you are miserable. You feel very heavy. You feel repentant. Have you observed what you do next? You are miserable with yourself at the physical level. What do you do next? Generally, you will watch something on your mobile. Did you observe? You make yourself busy with something which is pleasant. Because you are miserable, you want to take your mind away from that misery. You have to distract that mind from that state of misery. So what do? I engage my mind in something which is pleasurable. Maybe some movie, some comedy show, some whatever. Nowadays, a lot of distractions are available. Some chit-chat, some gossip. You know what you're trying to do? In fact, your mind is making you do so many things. Because it is miserable. Don't allow that mind to do that. When you are miserable because of heavy food, sit and meditate. Meditate on what? Meditate on misery. Misery due to overeating. Tell the mind, you tempted me into this, now you have to suffer this. Around 3 to 4 hours, let us say, depending upon how much you have eaten. Because now it has to get digested. Till that digestion process is over, go through that misery. How? Consciously. Remember, lesson taught in a conscious mind alone will stay with you. Consciously pay attention to that suffering. And tell the mind that next time you do this, I will make you do this. I will not do anything else now. I will just sit and meditate upon this misery. And the mind will say, I shouldn't have eaten. I shouldn't have. Yes, you shouldn't have it. Now pay attention. How you are miserable now. This is knowledge. Experiencing is knowledge in spirituality. Not gathering information. In spirituality, you become wise by experience. So this sense object is giving pain. How do you know? I have experienced it with a conscious mind. Next time, when the same sense object, that junk food comes, what will the mind say? It will not say it is blissful. Because what is registered? The pain is registered. Remember, eating food is hardly half an hour job. But that suffering is maybe 3-4 hours. So what gets registered? The suffering is registered. When that sense object is there in front, you will say no. The mind itself will say no. Suffering was much, much more than that little joy of indulgence. Then you have become wise. Mind has become viragi. Do you agree? This is how you make the mind educated. Education is through experience. Conscious experience. Make the mind go through it. Go through the consequence. But mind will not allow you to do it. It will try to take away the attention because it doesn't want suffering. Don't allow that mind. This is how you cultivate vairagya. In every aspect. The world is designed that way. Everything, the end result is pain. Otherwise, you will go on getting addicted to this and that, this and that, this and that. And slowly you will find that you have become a slave. You will be doing the wrong thing, knowing that it is wrong. It is true with every sense object. Smoking, same thing. Stop doing it, go through the misery. Don't yield to temptation. First time you are miserable. Second time the misery is less. Third time misery is still less. Finally a time comes when you are out of it. Agre vishamiva pariname amrutopamam. In the beginning it is very poisonous. Yes, it's painful. Any evolutionary step is painful. Falling down is very easy. Climbing the mountain is always difficult. Falling down, you don't have to do anything. This is how you develop Vairagya. Swamiji, with sense object is okay. With people also? Now, this is one more question. Attachment to people, is it joy giving or pain giving? Attachment, is it joy or pain? Now you got it. In all these movies, etc., they show attachment is joy. If you are not attached to anyone, you are miserable. People want to get attached. But look at the condition of all those who get attached. मेरा जीवन कोरा कागज कोरा ही रह गया. जो लिखा था आंसुओं के संग बह गया. So many such songs are there. I don't know how these people can sing when they are sad. The more and more you are attached to somebody, you will find that the very same person starts giving pain to you. How much pain, how much joy you derived from that person. If that intensity is 10 units, that much 10 units of pain that person will give. If it is 1000 units, pain also is 1000 units. Now the question is it worth? Swamiji, do you mean to say I should not get attached to my wife, my children? See, this is a law. Understand the law. Wherever there is attachment, you are getting ready to become miserable. How much misery? How much ever you are attached, that much misery is unavoidable. So then, Swamiji, do you mean to say we should not get attached to our family members? You see, there are 3 levels. Number 1, unhealthy detachment. That is the tamasic state. Unhealthy detachment means I don't care attitude. Let anything happen, I don't care. That's the worst. The second level is unhealthy attachment. What is unhealthy attachment? The moment something happens to my near and dear one, I get paralytic attack, I collapse. Because that person is my life. I can't accept anything happening to that person, my near and dear ones. This is called as unhealthy attachment. So there is unhealthy detachment and also unhealthy attachment. Unhealthy attachment is rajasic. All rajasic people go through that. And what is that sattvic state? It is healthy detachment or healthy attachment. What is healthy detachment, healthy attachment? We are with our family members. We love them. We serve them. Take care of them. We love them because they are necessary for our spiritual progress. Bhagavan has chosen them and put them in my life because I have something to learn from them. There is a reason why these people are around me. And they are helping me to evolve spiritually. Therefore, I love them. But at the same time, there is a healthy detachment. Why there is a healthy detachment? The truth is, every relationship in this world has a beginning and definitely it is going to have an end. My relationship with God alone is permanent. Rest everything is impermanent. When you are constantly aware of this fact of life, then automatically what comes is healthy detachment. This is the right way of dealing with people. There has to be healthy detachment and healthy attachment. Then you will never have any problem. Because already the mind is prepared. This person is there for some time with me. A time will come when I will go or the other person will go. Then there is absolutely no problem. That is called as Vairagya. Now the next question comes, Swamiji, when I am attached, unhealthy attached, at least little joy I am getting. Of course, later on I have to cry. That's okay. But at least some joy. When I am having detachment, that little joy also gone. So that is why this abhyasa is necessary. World gives us joy, no doubt about it. And mind is craving for joy. Mind always craves for happiness. Mind always craves for security. So now you are cutting off the sources of happiness from the world. Now what is the condition of the mind? Whatever little happiness is there, that also is blocked. Can the mind remain quiet? So mere practicing Vairagya is impossible. It will not work. It will only lead to suppression. Suppression is never going to work. Many times we do this. With this junk food also we try to do this. The mind says, at least I am getting some joy, no? That is why you are not able to conquer the mind if you are practicing only suppression. If you are practicing only Vairagya, it is just suppression. It won't work. Cutting off the mind from the joys of the world and not allowing the mind to, not exposing the mind to the higher is not going to work. That is why abhyasa is necessary. So it is a two-step process. Number one, two-step process, but simultaneously it has to be done. Number one, educate the mind that world has no joy. Number two, turn the mind to the higher God or Supreme Self where there is actual joy. What is the nature of the Self? Sat, Chit, Anand. The nature of the Self is Sat. Nature of Self or God, whatever you may say. Sat means existence. So therefore, in that state, mind feels secure. Existence is never threatened. It is secure. And also it is Ananda Sarupa. So it feels blissful. So happiness is there, security is there. The more and more the mind experiences that joy of the higher, bliss of the higher, security of the higher, the mind willingly drops the lower, the worldly securities and happiness. This is the way the mind has to be trained, educated. So today we had seen this Vairagya thing. Tomorrow and day after we will talk about Abhyasa in the form of devotion and then knowledge. So tomorrow we will take up the topic of devotion. The more and more the mind experiences devotion for God, love for God, that mind becomes fulfilled. Devotion is amazing. It fulfills the mind completely. Just like eating a very ripe mango. Pulp is also there, it takes care of hunger. Juice is there, it takes care of the thirst. So it's a very fulfilling experience. In the same way, bhakti. Bhakti is compared with a ripe fruit in the tree of Vedas. In Bhagavatam, that is how the comparison is. The fruit which has no seed. Everything can be eaten. Very juicy, fresh, sweet. Bhakti is like that. So that bhakti abhyasa, how to do it, that we will see tomorrow. I hope the Vairagya aspect is clear now. Anyway, now we have around half an hour. We can have some questions. So just stand up and the mic will come to you. Yes. Mics are all over. Somebody has to break the ice, that's all. Please stand up.
Next you.
I usually don't go first, but I think it looks like someone has to break the ice. Swamiji, I think behind this question there is probably a bigger issue. But specifically to your junk food example, to make the mind stay in the pain, so do you recommend then not taking some medicine or something to, like you eat too much junk food, you're feeling uncomfortable, then, some ginger or something like that, we usually try to calm it down. So do you recommend that? And the higher question is, a lot of times when people suffer, they think that they're suffering because they did something bad and they need to suffer. So
No, that suffering is different. We are talking about indulgence in sense object now.
Okay.
That topic, then you have to describe why that suffering has come. There is a reason, some negative emotion. Then you have to describe that event. Then I will tell you.
Okay.
In this case, you may or may not take ginger, that's a different matter. Exposing mind to that suffering is necessary. But suppose you think that without ginger, things will be all right after a few hours, then don't take ginger. Make the mind go through the pain.
Thank you.
Hari Om Swamiji. Swamiji has mentioned this practice of meditating on misery. How do we differentiate that meditation on misery from dwelling on the thought? Just as Swamiji has mentioned in Arjuna's question, that the mind is willing to entertain negative thoughts, and we shouldn't spend the rest of our lives dwelling in this negativity.
See, in negative thought, there is a wrong thinking. Keep the mic with you. Keep the mic with you. Till you are answered, don't give the mic. Till you are convinced, don't give the mic.
Swamiji gives only convincing answers.
So, you see, disturbance, they are born out of two reasons. Number one, because of a wrong act. Like, for example, this junk food. Sometimes disturbance is because of wrong thinking. And I don't know where I'm going wrong. Then that's a different issue. Many times I'm disturbed and I don't know the cause of my disturbance. That's a totally different issue. Then you have to find out where my thinking is going wrong. But here the issue is of addiction. You very clearly know why you are disturbed. And the disturbance is at the physical level. And the mind has to be trained, because again the mind will cheat you and then make you eat all the junk. This is going to be a lifelong problem, you know it. So it is always better to teach the mind lesson as early as possible. The other topic is totally different. There it is about wrong thinking and I am not even aware where am I going wrong. For that, right knowledge is necessary.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Hari Om Swamiji. So
Ah.
I was thinking of, is it like Kopa Bhavan kind of feeling that when you are, you know that so you have done something wrong and you are very consciously going through the emotions, understanding the mind that you did something wrong, now go through it. Is it like that, what Swamiji is trying to say? And I have another question.
You see, in the first question, are you clear where you have gone wrong?
Kind of. I mean, for the question I had in mind, yes.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
And do you think that the mind is addicted to doing that wrong thing again and again?
Habitually, yes.
If you have to break a habit, this is the only way. You have to fight against the mind. You have to break the... Any habit cannot be broken by following the habit. Only counter habits can break a habit. So, for example, a smoker will have to stop smoking. Stop smoking means what? Tendency there to smoke, I go against my natural tendency. This is how you break a habit. Even with wrong thoughts also. Many times wrong thinking has become a habit. So what is the way? Replace the wrong thinking by right thinking.
Yes. Actually, Swamiji answered my second question, which was about habits. Like this is we were talking about mind, but I was also thinking about habits, but Swamiji already answered.
Yes. For example, this jealousy. The moment that jealous feeling comes, I'm thinking something negative about a person, the very feeling shows that this particular tendency in me to feel jealous is wrong. Now find out what is the right way of thinking in this situation. Go on cultivating that right thinking. And a time comes when right thinking becomes natural, wrong thinking just drops off. Conscious effort in the opposite direction is what breaks the habit.
Makes sense. Yes, Swamiji. Thank you.
Attaining the high or attaining the secure itself is a kind of a joy. Would there be any pain even having that kind of mindset to attain high or secure, which is the joyous thing?
About Satchidananda, you are talking about the Supreme Self?
Yeah.
It is designed agre visham. Any higher joy, for that you have to struggle. For example, from level 7 to level 8, if you have to go, you have to lift yourself. Yes or no? Can you go from level 7 to level 8 by going down?
You have to go up.
Huh?
You have to race.
Yes, and racing is always effortful. Going higher is always effortful. Once you are established there, there is no effort.
But would there be a ripple effect of pain? Because if there is a joy, there is a pain. And in this case, regardless where you attain, there will be a pain, right?
Pain in the beginning, bliss in the end. Not pain in the end. Then who wants that? Bliss in the end is there, but pain in the beginning is unavoidable.
Going back to your junk food example, the joy comes first, pain comes later.
Yes.
So similar aspect, attaining this high, attaining the secure, you are going towards a joy. So there will be a pain after that.
Not pain after that, pain before. For example, even this junk food itself.
Okay.
Next time when the junk food comes, there is a pain in the beginning of resisting that temptation. But there is a joy in the end of avoiding that junk food. Another example I will give you. Suppose this person is a very lazy person. And then doctor says, get up and run, walk, jog, exercise. In the beginning, it is very difficult because that habit is not there. You have to create that habit. But once you are habituated to that, then everything becomes automatic. Even the disciplining of thoughts also. Negative thought is creating me disturbance. Positive thought gives me joy. But in creating a habit of positive thinking, there is an effort. Every time I have to be alert. Negative thought is there. Immediately I have to become alert and replace that negative with the positive. There is effort involved. But slowly as that positive thinking becomes a habit, there is no more effort. There is effortlessness. Effortlessly you are blissful.
I'll think about it. I don't want to pretend that I'm convinced, but I'll still give the mic away. Thank you.
No pain, no gain. You pain, you gain. That's the law.
Okay. Thank you, Swamiji. Fascinating discourse. But I want to ask about something with respect to this vairagya. That in this world, if you are consciously attached to something, yes, it might give you misery. But I want to point out something very practical in people's lives. Say, how would you handle some casual unfairness or insults, in the regular day-to-day life? For example, somebody might cut you in the highway and honk at you, or somebody makes a snide remark So then you play them over and over again in your mind.
Yes.
That causes a lot of misery.
Yes.
Probably I'm giving some trivial examples, but there is some kernel of truth in them. So how would you handle these things in day-to-day life?
Yes. You see, there are two ways of looking at it. Suppose a person has used some insulting words. One way is, he insulted me, therefore I am disturbed. And superficially it appears to be very true. That person spoke those words and I am hurt, I am disturbed. He shouldn't have done that way. I will teach him a lesson. That is one line of thinking. Even a superior line of thinking is, fine, he has insulted me. But why did I feel the pain? Where is this pain? So you will find on analysis that my own ego is the cause of this pain. The bigger my bloated ego, the greater will be the pain. More I am humble, the pain also will be less. So now what happens is, in the first route, I am blaming that person. I am saying that I was okay, but that person is not okay, therefore I am disturbed. He is the cause of my disturbance. You will just walk without any thought of improving yourself. Whereas in the second route, you say, no, my ego is the problem, so therefore I have to efface my ego. So what has happened? That second person goes on improving, goes on evolving. Experience is the same. Incidence is the same. Happening is the same. One person gets stuck wherever he is. Maybe he becomes more bitter also. The other person goes on evolving. This is the difference.
Excellent, thank you. And I have, one more question. I don't know whether it's question or comment. I read somewhere that there is virtue or purpose in suffering, that it is at the depths of despair that you would see the light. So
Yes.
I find it to be very deep.
Yes.
I just want you to comment on that. That's it. Thank you.
See, suffering is a great blessing. It's a great blessing. Whatever kind of suffering, may physical, emotional, intellectual. Any suffering is a great blessing, because every time we suffer, we introspect. And we introspect, we try to correct ourselves. In fact, the law of this world is, if somebody has suffered, that suffering will not go unrewarded. It's a law of this cosmos. When Bhagavan has decided to reward you with something higher, what comes is suffering. A very simple example I'll give you. In this animal planet, etc., you find one lion eating a deer, let us say. We say, poor deer. It is suffering so much. This life is unfair. Life is not unfair. You know that suffering which that deer go through, there is a yajna bhava involved. It is sacrificing itself for the welfare. And therefore, that sacrifice is rewarded as a higher birth for that deer. So there is an evolution. Nothing goes waste. So whatever suffering we are going through, whatever it may be, every suffering finally takes you to that ultimate state. So therefore, suffering is a blessing, though we don't like it.
Thank you.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Yes.
So at the seat of meditation, right, either through guided meditation by a spiritual master or by self, right? So, I mean, by self-driven meditation, it is very difficult to sit for so long, so much time, even for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Whereas, whereas in the guided meditation, you follow the spiritual master, whatever his or her instructions, but at certain point in time, you are getting so many thoughts and you get lost. So how to handle it? This kind of thing, yeah, thank you.
How to handle the mind?
How to continue the meditation without distracting the mind, without any distractions in the mind, yeah.
See, that is why Vairagya is essential.
Thank you.
as long as mind has desires, it will go on jumping from one thing to another. So number one, mind should be desireless. Number two, mind should be filled with devotion. Only then mind can be controlled, otherwise not possible. Guided meditation won't work. It may work in the beginning, but remember, the only being who can guide us is God. Because He alone knows what actually we want. What are our weaknesses? What are our vasanas? Only He can guide us. Nobody else can guide. But in this general guided meditation, we find some peace because constant instruction is preventing the mind from going into the world. Therefore, some peace we experience. Really speaking, nobody other than God can guide us because He alone knows who we are.
Hari Om Swami.
Yeah.
Here, Hari Om Swami.
Yes.
Yeah. So you talked about the Vairagya being the healthy attachment and healthy detachment.
Yes.
So, one of the problem I think again, I encounter is knowing, at least with the detachment aspect of it, is understanding, what is distinguishing between the healthy and unhealthy detachment. Sometimes, I want to act on something, then I don't know whether I am doing, is it the right detachment or a wrong detachment? So that's kind of struggle with that, whether it's what is the the right amount of detachment, or how do I? Sometimes my mind and things want to act, and other side of the mind says no, you should not be acting. So it's the struggle that I was wanted to.
See, that guidance again can come only through God. There are times when you need not act, and there are times when you have to act. So, whenever such confusions come, in your prayerful meditation, when the mind is sattvic, once the mind feels a little connect with God, when the mind is peaceful, bring this issue and ask God. You will find that if you are detaching from something which you are supposed to do, and if you are not doing it, you are keeping away, then there is guilt. You will not be at peace. For example, our Puja Gurudev himself, he got the knowledge from Himalayas. So every time he would come to that Ganga, he felt as though Ganga was speaking to him, hey, you got knowledge, why can't you give it to others, just like I am offering myself to the welfare of the world. Gurudev tried to avoid. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, but this voice was very strong. So when you are not doing what you are supposed to do, the voice of conscience will not allow you to have peaceful sleep. So this is how you know, Bhagavan, should I really enter into it or should I keep away? Sometimes I am not the right instrument for that purpose. Then you don't have to do anything. You can remain detached and be peaceful. But there are times when I have to get involved and I don't know. So seek the guidance from the divine and the guidance will come. When you are involved, there is peace. When you are not involved, there is misery. Then understand you have to involve. Everybody, not, when Mahatma Gandhi entered into the freedom struggle only listening to this voice of conscience. He did not just jump into it. He consulted from the divine. So that divine is speaking to us. Listen to him and then you will never regret.
Hari Om Swamiji. You talked about attachment to anything that leads to sorrow. So when you attach to the higher level,
yes,
you get bliss.
Yes.
Is it because you don't have any expectation at the time? Because at the junk food and other examples that you gave, so there is an expectation that is in our mind. That's why you're attached to it. When you attach to the higher level, there is no expectation. Is that why we don't get sorrow? We are into the bliss state.
When you are attached to the higher, you are blissful because the nature of the higher is bliss.
But there is no
Exactly.
expectation.
Whether you expect or not, his question is not expectation. Question is, what is the nature of that thing? For example, when you touch fire, what will you experience?
Hot.
Even
It's going
if
to
you
burn.
expect cold and touch, you will feel hot only. Because that is the nature of the thing. You put sugar into your mouth, expecting it to be salty, what will you experience? Sweetness.
Sweetness.
Because the nature of the thing is like that. In the same way, what is the nature of God? Ananda Surupa is the nature. So therefore, the moment mind connects to God, there is bliss. It has nothing to do with expectation, it has only to do with the nature of that thing.
So there is no sorrow at this point in time. So
Correct.
thank you.
Last question. Please go ahead.
Yes, Swamiji, you spoke a lot about the mind. Can you shed some light on what actually is mind? Because the sorrow also exists in the mind, the joy exists in the mind. And even when we say Satchit Ananda, whatever that state is, that also exists in the mind. You experience it through the mind. So when you say mind, is that mine and me, I, are they synonymous? Or is there a difference between I am happy and my mind is happy? What is the nature of the mind? How do we define mind in simple terms?
See, for most of our discussion, mind can be defined as flow of thoughts. Flow of thoughts. For most of our discussion. But there are specific occasions where mind will have to be redefined to something else. But otherwise, for all this discussion, it is nothing but flow of thoughts.
We can take one more last question.
Hariyam Swamiji. Why do one suffer too much as part of a detachment? Is it because of the attachment they have done on a person? Example, when you lose someone, why is it so much suffering when we are trying to detach ourselves? And you're saying as we try to reach the Supreme, that's where the joy is, but at the time of suffering, that's where you give up the belief even God exists. So give us some kind of insight into this, because I see many of us, or the human nature, is to suffer when you lose one.
That is the suffering of detachment or suffering of attachment?
Suffering of attachment, I believe.
Correct.
Right. So,
it is because of unhealthy attachment that suffering is there.
But then we are saying we are trying to go towards God, but then you just believe, you just have disbelief at the time of that.
Correct.
So
at that time, mind is not available for analysis, study, thinking, etc. Because there is so much of suffering, so much of sorrow. Right. Slowly what happens over a period of time, as they say, time is the best nurse. Slowly that person comes out of that sorrow because of slow forgetfulness, etc. After that, that person becomes even more recipient towards spiritual knowledge. This is what we find. Because that person has become more mature with regard to life.
So it could be years, it could be decades, I believe.
Yes,
right?
Yes. Because again that person forgets. Again he gets attached to somebody. Okay. Again suffers. Okay. After some time again forgotten. This is called as Mashana Vairagya. In that Mashana he is full of Vairagya. But how long? Hardly 1 month, 2 months, everything is forgotten.
Thank you.
Hari Om, everyone. Thank you, Swamiji, for that wonderful session. I'm so glad we had this opportunity to reflect out loud and be able to ask all these questions.